Hi and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to move forward in our photo organization series and we are in video number 5. In May, I did order my photos a little bit late, but I did get them ordered. I got 120 ordered, so a little bit of a small month and it was kind of rushed. And then, wouldn't you know it, I used Amazon like I always do, and then of course they were running late. So now here we are. It's getting close to the end of the month and I'm barely shooting this video. So we're here and I feel like I'm accountable. I'm showing you my photos that I printed for the month, so I'm very happy about that. So I've taken those photos and I have already put them into their different folders. Okay, so everything's been categorized. I've written on my envelopes what it was and how many photos, whether they're horizontal or vertical, and I've also logged them in under the appropriate year. Okay, so that's all been done, so I feel very good about that. Now I'm just going to file them, put them into my box. Now this month I focused heavily on printing our Texas trip from 2021. It's one of the last things I need to print for that year, and so I've almost finished printing 2021. I did complete the last printing for 2007, so yay. And so I'm moving into 2008. I'll be moving into 2016, which I have already started, and I'm going to keep current on 2020, which I've been doing pretty good about that. And I'm also moving into my daughter's 4th grade school album. Okay, so that's where I stand. And but today what I want to talk about, now that we've talked a lot about organization, it's like, what do we do next afterward? So I have everything in my box ready to go, and I have my list ready. What is it that you do next? Do you when it comes to inspiration and getting ready to scrap your page? So our whole purpose of doing this series was to get us ready to scrap. And so here we are, we're ready to scrap. And what is it that we do next? So I do inspiration. Okay, so whether you scrapbook chronologically or you scrapbook randomly like I do, I kind of scrapbook all over the place. So no matter how you actually put your book together, we still have to make that next step, which is to find the inspiration we're going to use and to decide on paper that we're going to use. So let's take a look at this envelope here. My daughter's first day of school in 2007. It was her 4th grade, her first day of 4th grade. So at this time, I would either decide, do I have special paper I want to use, or do I just want to go look for inspiration? So let's say it's the paper that I wanted to use first. I could go to my school category and I can look up and see if there's any papers in there that grab my attention. Now with hers, and the reason I spotlighted this one today was because when I was putting these together, I knew right away which papers I wanted to use with this, because I just got this in somewhat recently. Okay, and that's this Super Duper Girl pack. Because in this pack, okay, let's pull out a picture really quickly here of my daughter. Okay, so she's wearing a lot of pink this day of school. Okay, she also has some blue in here as well. So I just got this in. I just got these in. So they're both on my mind. So I thought this is perfect for a school layout, because let me show you the papers in here. Put her picture next to it. Perfect. It matches what she's wearing. This one is really perfect because it looks like paper that you would use in school, right? Then we have more pink, black and white. Always, those neutral colors always go well with everything. Yellow, yeah, maybe not so much the yellow or the turquoise. So we'll go ahead and we'll pull those out. Although this turquoise one doesn't look that bad, right? So that may be a contender, kind of matches her lunchbox. purple. Probably no purple in this one, even though purple was her favorite color for a really long time. So you can consider who you're scrapping as well. And then more pink, so that's a contender. Pink and white, I love that. That really pulled out her shirt a lot. More purple, okay, and then that's it. So we have a lot of great paper in this kit that we can use to go along with our photos. So I knew right away I was going to use this paper pack. And sometimes that's how our inspiration works. Maybe it's new products coming in, maybe it's paper in our stash that we saw and we just knew we wanted to scrap a certain thing. So we pull our pictures aside and we put our papers aside with that. Okay, so that would be the next step that I would do in that case. Then since I pulled my papers and my pictures, my next step would be the inspiration. Okay, so then where would I look for inspiration? There are so many places to look for inspiration, right? There's, of course, Pinterest. There's the Creative Memories blog. There's, of course, YouTube videos. And when it comes to YouTube videos, I would highly suggest if you see something you like, at the end, take a screenshot of it. Keep a notebook, either in this notebook or somewhere else, a list of ideas, so that when it comes time to scrap them, and even if you have pictures that you want to go with a certain page, write it in your notes as well, because and have an ongoing list, because when that time comes, you'll be searching forever for that YouTube video and it's just going to get swallowed up. Okay, there's also, of course, sketchbooks. Okay, this is the Creative Memories 110 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches, but there's other sketchbooks out there similar to this one. And then there's online places you can get sketches as well. Like I use this quite often. It's Page Maps. And if you haven't heard of this, it's pagemaps.com. And every month they put out a new page of different sketches. They'll include 9x12s if you do that, and they'll always include one double page, and then the rest are single page 12x12. Okay, so a great place to get inspiration, and it's free once a month. Okay, so when it came to my photos, so I have the 5 and 4 are horizontal and 1 is vertical. Okay, so I would look through them, especially if I want to kind of hone in on what kind of inspiration I want to use. This one I can't show because it's shows some of her classmates, but it is horizontal. And then this one, and then I have these. So these 3 pictures are all in our front yard the first day of school. Okay, very typical shot that we would take every year. My kids would kind of line up. We would do individual, we would do group photos. This is her book, so I just have her. And I can tell you right away, I like the vertical one the best because it shows more of her. It shows her outfit, it shows her backpack, and it shows her lunchbox. Okay, so a lot of information here. So I would probably, not sure if I would use these or not. I'm going to keep them with this just for now, but right now I'm leaning towards just one of those. I want to use for sure the horizontal one of her friends. I like this one of her because it tells the name of her teacher and what grade she's going into. So it's the front door of her school, of her classroom, but I can chop that one down. Same as this one, this is her inside the classroom. So again, I could do a little bit of trimming, okay? Not too much, because I like to see what the teacher had on the desk for them when they first came in. Okay, so I have 3 for sure that I want to use, and then 1 here, so I have at least 4 photos that I want to use. And the reason I went through that is because if I'm going to go look for specific inspiration on this, with this idea, then I need to know, something that holds at least 4 photos. I want to keep this to a 1-page spread in her book. I have a lot to scrap in her school book, so this gets 1 page, not a double page spread. So I did see a sketch recently that I found on the Creative Memories blog. It was the bonus sketch from the last virtual crop, and I liked it because it has the 2 horizontal pictures, which I had, and I think I could put my vertical picture here. And what I really liked about it is, for some reason, this spot right here reminded me of that lined paper. I feel like I can make it into a notebook area and make it look school related. So right now, that's the sketch that I'm gonna go with. Now, if you're doing it the other way around, for example, when we are working on the virtual crop, when they come up once a month, we are given our sketch, and then we have to go find the photos that we want to use and the papers that we want to use. So even if you get parts of it done, you match up your papers and your photos, then you can put those aside, and then you can add sketch to it later. But when you get your sketch first, you just work backwards. So then you go, when I get my sketch for the virtual crops, that's when I would use my book. I would go through my different years. So I'm working heavily on 2007 to get that finished up. So I would literally go down and look at each open category and see, does it fit the sketch, or can I make it into a 2-page sketch, or can I, is the theme even something I'm feeling at the moment? Okay, nothing in 2007, I would go on to my next book. That's how I do it, to find when I'm given inspiration and I have to look for pictures. Main reasons why I keep the running list going to begin with, okay? Or just for page planning overall. If you scrapbook chronologically, you would want to know, coming up, do you have a 2-page spread or a 1-page spread coming up? Then, so I have my paper, I have my photos, of course, and now I have my inspiration. So how do we store this so that we are now ready to scrap this? How do we store these? I would suggest the Creative Memories Power Project folder. Now, this one that you see here is an older version. I still have some of those left, so I don't have the newest version. So it has a big pocket in the back. So I would put my papers that I want to use and my sketch right in there. Typically what I would do is I would put these back in the envelope for now, and then I would stick the envelope right in the front there. My next step would be to go and pick embellishments. Okay, now let me give you another suggestion. If you don't have these Power Project folders, what I used to do is I used to use these. This is, I get these at Target, and this is Target brand, but there's lots of brands available. But this is a 2.5 gallon Ziploc type bag, and it does hold paper very nicely. It slides right in. I don't have a box available, or I would tell you the measurements, but you can see it's probably a 14 by 15 bag. And I would put my paper in there, I would put my sketch in there, and then I would go ahead and stick my photos right in there as well. And then I bend it over to store it. So this is one of the issues with this, is that you got a lot of extra flaps hanging around. So I flip it over and I just stick it in my bin. Sometimes if I'm putting it into a tote to travel with, I do have to do that, and it does create a little bit of bulk, but a very reasonable cost, and they can be used over and over and over until your personal preference on how wrinkly you want that to be. Okay, so that's it for this episode of our photo organization and getting ourselves ready to scrap. List below, what is your first step after you have your photos printed? How do you get yourself ready to scrap? Do you find your photos first? Do you find your inspiration first? Or do you find your paper first? Let me know below, and we'll continue this discussion on upcoming episodes of our photo organization. So thank you for stopping by today and keeping me accountable on getting my photos printed, because I feel like I'm really staying on top of it this year, and I hope that you are getting those photos printed as well. Okay, everybody, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.